If you can see it here and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. So a lot of times people believe in certain things, but they keep to themselves. They don't put it out there. If you truly believe in it, if you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction and it will become reality.
Make this note. Don't become a victim of yourself. Forget the thief in the alley that's after your purse. What about the thief in your mind that's after your promise?
When I was a kid, I used to visualize stadiums and like raising my hand and visualizing an arena full of fans, and that was something I done as a kid. So I always had these visions of something. You have to do that. You have to battle with this.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
So a lot of times people believe in certain things, but they keep to themselves. They don't put it out there. If you truly believe in it, if you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction and it will become reality.
So who's the best player in the world ever? Me.
Where does this confidence come from? What were you like as a child? Were you always like this? Did you know you were destined for greatness?
I was always one of those guys, yeah.
Oh, I can believe it.
The first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it.
To all of you out there, please keep your dreams alive. Dreams are something you have to believe in. I almost gave up on mine. They say stories like this only happen in the movies. I cannot believe it's happening to me. Mom, I just want an Oscar.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
The mind is but a magnet to what you want. You know what I'm saying? The law of attraction.
4th grade, I went in my closet. I said, I am going to the NBA. Anything you invoke with I am after it, the power of manifestation and what can happen in the universe comes true.
There's this thing about people and they talk about manifesting. It's fucking real, man. Manifesting is real. When you figure out who you are and what you want to do, and you devote your life to it like a maniac, like you're all in on this thing, and you manifest, most of these people end up, doing what they say they're going to do and being who they say they're going to become. It's real. And there's no excuses. There's no fucking days off. There's no everybody's against me and this didn't happen for me because of this and that and all this whining. There's these people who dive in and they're hardcore and they're focused and they know what they want. They know who they are, and they lay out these short-term goals and this roadmap on how to get there. Most of those people make it.
He's the biggest man I've ever seen. I wouldn't want to fight him.
That's why no one will remember your name.
There's people like us, we're crazy in the sense that we believe it's almost delusional sometimes.
Yes.
You have, what's the one, I've heard this quote on the JRE before, it's like greatness and madness are next door neighbors and they just borrow each other's sugar once in a while. Bro, I can manifest like a motherfucker. Everything comes from the imagination. Everything comes from the imagination. So the power of the mind, people don't understand. We still don't understand. I still don't understand how powerful it is. I'm still learning. But I know one thing is I can make things happen. I can go into levels, I just can't tell the world, but there's levels that I've manifested things that I'm just I still shock myself, how the fuck did I make that happen? And this is not even to do with fighting, this is to do with my personal life. And I'm I made that happen. And this is through this manifesting subconsciously as well. Just years of something just manifesting, and boom, it's right there. I'm just shit, I really made that happen. It's scary, man.
I think that there's a certain delusional quality that all successful people have to have. You have to believe that something different than what has happened for the last 50 million years of history. You have to believe that something different can happen. Confucius said, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
Wow, so your brain doesn't really know the difference between, say that again?
Between something that happened in real life or something that you strongly visualize.
Wow, so you could create enough of a visualization for yourself if you really were to powerfully start to focus on it and do that and build that ability to visualize something that your brain at one point would have to think it's so true that the world would meet you and put it into your life.
Most people talk to themselves in terms of doubt and fear and worry and anxiety. Talk to yourself positive. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. Just repeating, I can do it over and over again. Boost your self-confidence and boost your self-esteem.
We did not come this far to just break down and lose now. Everything's not always about winning and losing. I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
True years in the gym, true wins, true losses, true life. I just realized that if you say it to yourself and you look yourself in the eye and look yourself in the mirror and truly believe that not a man alive can beat you, then that is the way it is. And just true hours in the gym and preparation, I feel that I am untouchable right now.
I want to reassure you that no matter what the night, no matter what the storm, no matter what the difficulty, there isn't anybody here that can't figure it out, find some things to do, step at a time, yes. Minute at a time, yes. Day at a time, yes. Week at a time, yes. But there isn't anything you can't walk away from. There isn't any challenge you can't overcome. I want you to have that kind of belief in yourself.
Maybe it was your time to lose. You didn't think so. Lose! I don't lose! I win! I win! That's my job! That's what I do!
If a person would sit down and let their body relax, totally relax, okay, and then start to visualize in their mind, see themselves the way they want to see themselves. See how you'd like to live your life. See yourself living it that way. Now understand that that's a picture in your mind. Take that picture and describe it, write it out in the present tense. I am so happy now that I see myself, and write it out. Start to read it, and read it, and read it, and read it every day. Carry it around and keep reading it. The one point that all the great teachers, all down through history, have all agreed on, they've been in complete unanimous agreement on it, we become what we think about. Now, it may be fantasy at first, it might even appear to us as being a lie. But if you read it often enough, you'll start to believe it. I watch people in the personality change right in front of my eyes, and all they're doing is starting to see themselves different. They're starting to think different thoughts.
Nah, I feel confident because I'm the best player in the world. It's simple.
You can have anything you want if you want it badly enough. You can be anything you want to be. Do anything you set out to accomplish if you hold to that desire with singleness of purpose.
If you want revenge for the bad things that have happened in your life, start with the version of you that hasn't lived up to your potential.
Conor, in February of 2013, we spoke for the first time. You didn't have a car, you didn't have a pot to piss in, all you had were blueberries. Now here you are with the undisputed gold. Enjoy it, my friend. You deserve it, you called it.
Yeah, from nothing to something to everything.
You know, two years ago, and I had the goal in my head that I'm going to be the best player in the league.
I believe in the law of attraction. It's something that is like an internal belief. So I just feel it in my whole being that I'm the best fighter on the planet. I honestly have convinced myself that I'm not designed to lose. Power of the mind. And I believe that that you can speak things into existence. And I believe that when you know where you're going and you know what you want, the universe has a way of stepping aside for you.
Everything is possible in your life when you believe. When you believe, everything is possible. Everything is possible. Go. And take it whatever you want to do.
Anything you say with the words I am, your subconscious will then take that as a command.
The first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it.
And I've always had visions of better. I've always visualized better. And in times of struggle, like driving down in a banger of a car that I had to push start, I'd be still driving a soft-top Bentley around beautiful California in my head. And lo and behold, now I am driving a beautiful soft-top Bentley around California. So I always visualized good things. I always visualized victory, success, abundance. I visualized it all, and it's all happening.
Around 2010, 2011, I went through this huge spiritual thing where I became obsessed with the power of the mind. meditation, visualization, and just realizing how powerful our minds actually are, like how we really do paint our world with our thoughts and our level of self-belief. So I took myself from being very average-minded to actually believing that I was the shit, and believing that I could be the shit, and that I could be the GOAT and be the greatest and never lose. Into, like, I took myself to a different place mentally, and a lot of it came from mental practice and meditation and visualization and just seeking knowledge from people who are strong believers.
I knew I was going to be the person to bring martial arts to the public eye. And now it's happening. You know what I mean? There's two things I've learned from these past 7 months. Number one is that hard work pays off. And number two is that dreams come true. And that's what's happening.
We become what we think about most of the time. And that's the strangest secret. This is why thinking is so vital. This is why a goal is so important. Because we will become that.
It's a beautiful feeling when preparation meets opportunity. You know, nothing is impossible. You know what I mean? You can achieve anything.
That's how your mind works 24/7. It never turns off. You have got to change the way you think. It is the whole determining factor of where you go in life. We are all where we are today because we thought ourselves to this position. If you don't like the position, think yourself out of it.
All that matters is how you see yourself. If you see yourself as the king, you know what I mean? You see yourself with all the belts and all everything. And no matter what no one else says, as long as you see that and really believe in it, then that's what's going to happen.
You have to understand, you are a magnet. Whatever you are, that's what you draw to you. If you see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. You gotta create dream boards. You gotta put the new car up on your mirror. Put the weight you wanna be on the refrigerator. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. That's the law of attraction.
Everyone is jealous of what you've got. No one is jealous of how you got it. People see the trophies, but not the training ground.
Everybody wants the view, but no one wants the climb.
A negative mind will find any way to make the world fit his priors.
Right.
So if you go into a situation adamant that that you are unlovable, unwanted, broken, flawed, insufficient, you will manage to warp reality to be able to fit what you already believe.
That you used to go up on Mulholland Drive and park
every night
and visualize seeing yourself as...
Yeah, I would visualize,
This is when you were broke and poor.
You know, right, having directors interested in me and people that I respected saying, you know, I like your work or whatever that is, and I would visualize things coming to me that I wanted or whatever.
This was in like 1987, 85,
yeah. And I had nothing at that time, so it was like, but it just made me feel better. It made me, at that time, all it really was for me was kind of making me feel better. I would drive home and think, well, I do have these things, and they're out there. I just don't have a hold of them yet, but they're out there.
You attract what you feel, what you are, what you attract. What's on your mind? Yes,
it's like the law of physics. I don't know how anybody can disagree with that. It's just, ask any physicist, they'll tell you that it's true.
You attract, not something you pursue. Success is looking for a good place to stay. So instead of going after it, you work on yourself. Personal development. See, the major question to ask on the job is not what are you getting? The major question to ask on the job is what are you becoming? See, the big question is not what am I getting paid here? The big question is what am I becoming here?
You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Now think about that. If you want to attract what you want, you've got to see yourself already with it. Start to see yourself mentally. Use your imagination. See yourself already in possession of the good you desire. That will flip your mind onto a specific frequency, and you do think on frequencies. It's on that frequency that good you desire is going to start coming toward you, and you will start moving toward it. If you want to attract what you actually want, you've got to see yourself now already with it. It's only a period of time till it manifests in physical form.
Never stop, no matter how many failures. When you know you're doing what you're meant to do, you have to try.
If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind. Go all the way. It can mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It can mean freezing at a park bench. It can mean jail. It can mean derision, mockery, isolation. Isolation is the gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, or how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it, despite rejection and the worst odds, and it will be better than anything you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There's no other feeling like that. You'll be alone with the gods, and the nights will flame with fire. Do it. Do it. All the way. All the way. You will ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is.
I'm enjoying the fruits of my hard work. Nobody works harder than me inside the octagon, outside the octagon. I am a workhorse, so I'm going to enjoy the benefits of this life. I'm going to get myself a big mansion in Las Vegas. I'm going to get the soft top cars. I'm going to bring my whole team out. I'm going to spoil them and give them this life. Big steaks that size, we're eating every single night each. We're eating good, we're living good. It's human nature. Some people will sit and take positivity from that. They will look at that and take inspiration and inspire. It will inspire them to go and push for that. Others will shell up and critique it and be negative towards it. But one thing is for sure, those people will stay where they are. The people who take inspiration from it will rise up and also one day experience that life. So this is human nature. Some go one way, some go the other way. But I am enjoying my money, my hard-earned money that I have dedicated my life to.
Now, the latest research in neuroscience says you can change your brain just by thinking. So then, as you begin to think about a new possibility, and your brain begins to fire in new sequences and new patterns and new combinations, and you begin to plan your behaviors, and you begin to review in your mind, mentally rehearse who you're going to be in your life. The mere action of mental rehearsal begins to install the neurological circuits in your brain. Now your brain is no longer a record of the past. Now it's in fact a map to the future.
There's a law of attraction in the universe that says that you attract into your life people and circumstances in harmony with your own thinking. So if you start to read really good material, set goals, commit to your own personal development, strive to become good at what you're doing, listen to positive audio programs, associate with positive people like at this seminar, what happens is you set up a force field of energy that is invisible, but it attracts into your life people, circumstances, possibilities, opportunities that would not have been there in the absence of your own changed thinking.
The person who's living in lack is waiting for their wealth to feel abundant. They're waiting for their success to feel empowered. They're waiting for their healing to feel gratitude. They're waiting for their new relationship to feel love. They're waiting for their mystical experience to feel awe. That's the Newtonian model of reality, of cause and effect. Waiting for that event to happen to take away this separation or lack. Nothing wrong with it. It's the way most people create. But what we've discovered is actually something else. The moment you feel gratitude, your healing begins. The moment you feel worthy and abundant, you're generating wealth. The moment you're empowered, you are moving towards your success. The moment you're in love with yourself and you're in love with life, you'll create an equal. The moment you are in awe of life, you're going to have a mystical experience. And so that's causing an effect, right?
When doubt creeps into your mind, remember that whatsoever a man believeth, that shall he also reap. Remember, faith is not something you get. Faith is something you already have. But you may be using it in reverse gear by believing in the circumstances and things you do not want, the things you fear. Remember also that faith is guidance only. It is not a power which will bring you what you want, but a power that can guide you to go after what you want and get it.
There are many ways to get the things that we want for ourselves in our lives. But basically, it all begins with how we choose to think. As you think, so shall you be. 7 little words that I think are perhaps the most important things that we can learn and master in our lives. This old proverb notion that I become what I think about all day long. And once you know that what you think about is what expands, you start getting real careful about what you think about. You don't allow your thoughts to be on anything that you don't want, or that you wouldn't want to have manifest or show up for you in your life. Emerson said, the ancestor to every action is a thought.
Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it.
I love that quote.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do to be the best.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Everybody asked me the question. They wanted to know, what kind? I know he's gonna wild out and he's gonna do something crazy. Everybody wanted to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
How do I gain more confidence?
It starts with yourself, man. You gotta start diving into those things that you're afraid of. You don't gain confidence by going to a spot that makes you feel good. It's gonna be a false reality. What gives you confidence is not being afraid. It's overcoming the fear. I used to stutter severely bad. So right now, I don't know how many people are gonna watch this. You know what gives me confidence? Is knowing I no longer care if I sit here and start stuttering to you.
Yeah.
That's what gives me confidence, is facing these things, overcoming them. And maybe not overcoming them every day, but facing them. And facing them and facing them. Pretty soon like this, you know what, man, this is where it's at. It's not in that comfort zone. It's in the discomfort zone.
The only thing that you can do is win so big that all of them constantly compare themselves to you, and then you'll forget they exist. Success is the only revenge. He's like, it's not the best revenge. He's like, it's the only one. There's no other revenge. Because everything else is petty. Everything else does show that you were thinking about these people all day long, which means they win by default.
A few weeks ago, I was in the gym working out, when this NBA player walks in with his trainer. I could tell by the exercise they were doing, he was used to doing just 12 reps. Because when the trainer said, let's do 15 today, he got a little attitude. It became very clear to me on why he was a bench warmer. Having that bare minimum attitude would keep you on that bench. It motivated me though. It was locked in my brain. It's still there now on how he sounded. It kept me in the gym another 2 hours. The thing about it is this. It's not just the 3 reps that he failed to recognize. It's what happens to those 3 reps that make you better. Never do the bare minimum. Stay hard.
Because I want to be great.
And you're not.
I want to be one of the greats.
People want to know where I find my strength at, where I get my strength. I get it from a lot of places, but right now, this morning, I'm getting it from, there's not a mother that's up. There's not a car, there's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday, hate it's a Monday. And I'm loving it. I'm loving that. Where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the after it every daggone day.
Conor, in February of 2013, we spoke for the first time. You didn't have a car, you didn't have a pot to piss in, all you had were blueberries. Now here you are with the undisputed gold. Enjoy it, my friend. You deserve it, you called it.
Yeah, from nothing to something to everything.
Man, bro, when you really want something, you're gonna find a way, ultimately. And it might not be today or next year or 5 years or 10 years, but this thing takes priority and precedent over all other things. And even then in this life, it's not necessarily guaranteed that you'll get there, but I know what's not guaranteed is you being comfy and getting there. That's not happening.
Greatness is not meant for a few chosen people. It's meant for those who persistently pursue their dreams every day and make that choice when they wake up. So just a mentality, really. Aspirations come from people that do amazing things, but they're really ordinary people just waking up every day doing it, doing the little things that other people aren't doing.
So this guy just passed me. He said, Goggins, just be average today. Some of you just don't understand. Some of you have been average for so damn long, you don't know what it is to do hard work. But there's a lot of you out there who want to be much more than average. but just don't know how to do it every single day, the grind. You need to find someone to oil those ears up. So check it out. This is a mindset. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But there's a motherfucker out there who wants what you have, who wants the position you are, who wants the job you have, who wants the wife that you have, or the husband. There's someone out there hungry and wants everything you can have. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But if it is, it's gonna be your ass. So make that a motivation for you. Stay hard.
We're not on this stage just because of talent or ability. We're up here because of 4 a.m. We're up here because of 2-a-days or 5-a-days. We're up here because we had a dream and let nothing stand in our way. If anything tried to bring us down, we used it to make us stronger. We were never satisfied, never finished. We'll never be retired. My high school English teacher, Mr. Fisk, he had this beautiful quote, and it read, "Rest at the end, not in the middle." And I took that to heart. I believe there's time for resting at the end, but for me, that time is not now. My next dream is to be honored one day for inspiring the next generation of athletes to have a dream, sacrifice for it, and never ever rest in the middle.
Why do we force? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up.
We will win, because we will hit all game. We are motivated. We are dedicated. We will win, because we are the best on the field. Could you do me a favor? Stop being scared to be you. Start being you. Fuck what they think. You keep running. Oh, they going. Fuck what they going to say. Start being you. Listen, before you know, life is going to be over. And you're going to say to yourself, I didn't live my life. I'm seeing too many people out here being clones of people that they never met just because they seen them on social media and they put this whole show on, this production of their life is so great that you don't even want to be you, that you abandon yourself. I ain't gonna never jump outside of myself and be nobody else. I'm gonna be me. Stop being you and stop being everybody else. Stop being scared.
What's the least amount of sleep you played a game on? Story where it's like, you know, no one knows about, where you went and played a game and it was so insane for whatever reasons.
No sleep.
You played a game with zero sleep.
Zero sleep. Zero sleep. It's like, you know, kids, you know, Natalia had a certain, you know, health situation or what have you, and you're staying up all night, and then you got to go out and perform because fans don't know, you know, teammates don't know, nor do they care, nor should they, that you've been up all night. You got to perform, right? And so you just got to go to work, man.
I'm obsessed with finding myself now after and not having to prove anything to anybody other than myself.
You see this guy here staring back at you?
Yeah.
That's your toughest opponent. Every time you get into the ring, that's who you're going against. I believe that in boxing, and I do believe that in life.
My hero, that's who I chase. Now, when I was 15 years old, I had a very important person in my life come to me and say, who's your hero? And I said, I don't know, I got to think about that. Give me a couple of weeks. I come back 2 weeks later, this person comes up and says, who's your hero? I said, I thought about it. You know who it is? I said, it's me in 10 years. So I turned 25 10 years later. That same person comes to me and goes, so are you a hero? And I was like, not even close. No. She said, why? I said, because my hero is me at 35. So you see, every day, every week, every month, and every year of my life, my hero is always 10 years away.
The way I look at it within myself, or why not, or why can't I be the MVP of the league? Why can't I be the best player in the league? I don't see why. Why can't I do that?
Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood.
And there's only two types, winners and losers. Winners don't make excuses when the other side plays the game.
Yeah, I heard a quote one time from Vincent van Gogh that really rang true. He said, he has dedicated his life to his art and he has lost his mind in the process. And when I sat and I thought about that, it sounded very familiar. I have given every single thing, every ounce of my life to this craft, to perfecting my craft, and I continue to do so. And in the process, I have lost my mind. But in a good way, to regular society, to people who wake up at 9 a.m., who clock out at 5 p.m. They would look at me and say, I've lost my mind. But me, I have found it almost.
Tired, 14 days, 13 days, whatever the hell it is, don't mean nothing. Tired is only in the mind. You tell yourself you're tired, you're gonna be tired. I don't get tired.
I'm emotionless. I am zen, at peace, ready for war.
If you want to be great, you want to be baddest motherfucker ever at what you do, you're gonna be misunderstood by everybody because you're gonna be so obsessed and so driven to get there. That's what it takes.
That's the truth.
It takes every second of your life. Anybody says balance? Yeah, balance is important for a lot of people. It is. But if you want to go to that edge where people do not like you, don't understand you, question everything you do, you've arrived. When you are misunderstood to the point where people think you're psycho and you're nuts and you're this and that, why are you in the gym at 1 o'clock in the morning? You just got to doing an op for 13, 14 hours after Ranger School, man, at the gym. What's wrong? You will never understand what is wrong with me.
You're crazy until you're successful. Then you're a genius.
Being realistic is the most commonly traveled road to mediocrity. Why would you be realistic? What's the point of being realistic?
Just put up a barrier.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. It's done. It's already done. The second I decide it's done, it's already done. Now we just got to wait for y'all to see.
Is there any limit to your ambition?
No.
Or any limit to what you think you can achieve?
Well, no. Because I think right now, if I was to quit rapping and I say I want to go to the NBA, I would be in the NBA.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
Why would you think you could make it to the NBA?
Because I think I can do anything.
You need to tell yourself if you're going to win or lose. And there is no opponent. There's no one. You're against yourself. I believe in myself so much that nothing is going to stop me.
The sky is the limit. And as a kid growing up, I believed that. I believed that whatever I put my mind to, and if I was willing to make sacrifices and I was dedicated, that I could achieve absolutely anything.
Because despite my situation at the time, I always believed that, I don't know why, but it seems like I had some voice in my mind who told me that it's gonna happen. How? I don't know, but it's gonna happen. Then I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do it. And that was just like 6 to 7 years ago.
Your words were your destiny. You spoke out your reality when you said, I'm gonna do that.
Conor, you've been dreaming about this moment. You've been talking about this moment. Honestly, though, does it feel the way you thought it would?
Yeah, it does. It feels beautiful. I dreamt this so much, so clearly, so precisely, and so frequently that it has manifested itself into reality. And that's what I am feeling right now. It's a dream come true.
Like the person you want to become. That's not fake it till you make it, by the way. This is intentional. Intentionally act like the person you want to become. Because when you intentionally act like the person you want to become, your brain sees you taking those actions, so your brain starts to change the way it relates to you. When your brain sees you high-fiving yourself in the mirror, it starts to go, oh, wait a minute, Steven loves himself. Steven's cheering for himself. We don't beat Steven up.
Well, again, nothing changes for me, you know what I mean? I already felt like I had money back then, even though I didn't have money. I always felt like I was the champ, even though I wasn't the champ, you know what I mean? So nothing changes for me. I still feel the same way as I did before. I continue to do what I do day in, day out. I show up at the gym, I train. When I leave the gym, I take down notes of what happened in training, all the scenarios that have occurred, all what we learned, what we did. I go back to the gym, I repeat, and then that's it, that's my life.
The 3 most common traits of highly successful people. Do you remember those?
So the 3 most common traits of hyper successful people that they looked at, and it was interesting. So number 1 was that they had a superiority complex. They thought they were better than other people and that they deserved more. The second is that they suffered from massive insecurity and feeling that they would never be enough. And third, they had impulse control.
Visualization activates your superconscious capabilities and releases your mental potential. The clearer the picture is in your mind, the more rapidly your subconscious and superconscious go to work to bring it into your reality.
My father always jokes that I could be doing anything. He said, listen, by the time I'm 25 years old, I'm gonna be a self-made millionaire. And he laughed at me.
How old are you?
I'm 24 now, so I feel like a millionaire. I feel like a superstar, and that's the way I felt back then when I first started. You know what I mean? I kept that vision in my head. I kept that belief. I hit the gym. I trained hard. I believed in my abilities, and now here I am.
Let me leave you with some words from Muhammad Ali. Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in a world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare.
Like, you just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way. It's water. It wants to move and go around stuff, you know. So for me, I want to represent possibilities. I want to represent the idea that you really can make what you want.
There's only one thing that's impossible, and that's to be a man that doesn't give up.
You need an alter ego, a version of you that's limitless. Make your weaknesses their strength. Make your insecurity their confidence. Give them a name. Give them traits. Create an amazing character. When you need them, let them take over. And eventually, you won't need to pretend. It will just be you.
This is why people who set goals achieve them. The trouble with men is not in achieving their goals. They do that. It's in establishing them. I think it's good to remember that if we just go along with the crowd, we won't wind up with much more than the wish that we could do it all over again, and as far as we know, you can't. If we want to amount to anything as individuals, we need individual goals, individual thinking, individual actions, and we must never conform to the big group.
This is the law of attraction. I mean, you have to, in the struggle, you know, when things are going good and you visualize these good things happening, you visualize more good things happening, that's easy. What's not easy to do is when things are going bad and you're visualizing the good stuff. And that was what I was able to do. I was able to, you know, even though I was having these troubles at home, and even though I had no job, no, you know what I mean, or whatever, I still was able to feel like it was. I'm sitting here holding the steering wheel, visualizing a brand new car, and visualizing good things in times of struggle. And that, when you can do that, I think that really makes that law of attraction work. I think it really attracts to you more, you know what I mean? Because that is harder to do when you're in the struggle to visualize these things.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you're here for a purpose, to enrich the world. Your destiny is in your mouth, in your mind. Once you receive that level of confidence, you know what I mean, and it's practiced properly, it will surpass a genius. There's nothing more supreme than confidence. Confidence breeds success, and success breeds confidence. Applied properly, you're inconquerable.
I am in a state of zen. The closer the fight comes, every time I say it over and over, the face becomes blank. There is no face, it's just blank and a fresh body type. I am calm, cold, ruthless, and ready to take out the body that's in front of me.
Ever since you came to the UFC, the confidence has been sky high. You said you were going to be the champion. You said you were going to take over. You've achieved all that and probably more. You really have taken over the sport. Undoubtedly the biggest star in it. Where does this confidence come from?
You know, confidence grows through work ethic, through seeing what's happening around you, and that's it. I put the work in, and it's paying off.
Whenever you think you can't, the confidence comes from the thing that you built. You must build belief. You must build confidence. I can knock that shit out. It's belief, and it's built on what you put in to yourself.
We're all in a battle with our own brains.
It's the most powerful thing in the world, is your own brain. It can work for you or against you.
And when did you start to realize that the visualization could work for you? Because the visualization got you through the SEAL training, I think.
It did, and I was able to visualize the end. So when I was 297, and I was all fat and out of shape, and I couldn't run a quarter mile, and I was drinking milkshakes and eating boxes of donuts, I visualized, man, how would it feel? So after I watched that show on Discovery Channel, for a brief moment, there was 22 guys that graduated. I watched this segment on TV about these guys going through Navy SEAL training. And I couldn't even, I wasn't a great swimmer, I was afraid of the water, all this man. And I saw these guys just quitting. But at the very end, it says 22 guys, there's commanding officers up there, and he gives this great speech. I was like, man, I wonder. So I started visualizing me being the 23rd guy in these dress whites, sitting there with these guys, getting that Navy SEAL, graduating this Navy SEAL training. I was like, God. So I put myself there. I was like, man, that's an amazing feeling. I put myself there at 297, not even able to do anything that these great men were doing. I said, man, if I could feel that, that would change my life.
I kept going, not because I wanted to. Trust me, all of me wanted to stop. I kept going because I deserved to know what not giving up on myself felt like.
Great rule, you become what you think about, but you become what you say to yourself. So what you do is you say to yourself these magic words. You say, I never give up. Say it, say I never give up. I like myself and I never give up.
Around 2010, 2011, I went through this huge spiritual thing where I became obsessed with the power of the mind, meditation, visualization, and just realizing how powerful our minds actually are, like how we really do paint our world with our thoughts and our level of self-belief. I just took myself to this different mental level where I took myself from being average, very average-minded, to actually believing that I was the and believing that I could be the and that I could be the GOAT and be the greatest and never lose. Like I took myself to a different place mentally, and a lot of it came from mental practice and meditation and visualization and just seeking knowledge from people who are strong believers.
I always dreamed as a kid that it was possible to score 80 or 90 or 100. I always just had a dream. Like sometimes you lay down in bed and you visualize things. You just kind of that's at least how I would go to sleep. I'd lay down, I'd imagine playing for the Lakers, and I'd imagine what the uniforms look like. I'd imagine what we'd be playing, and the smell of the arena and all some stuff. And I would see myself, getting hot. So you just keep dreaming and dreaming and dreaming, and before I go to sleep, I'm like at 120 points, And so when you grow up, downloading that into your brain over and over and over, and then that summer, I made 1,000 shots a day. 1,000.
Before you go to sleep every night, visualize yourself being, doing, and having the good which you desire. And when you impress the subconscious just before going to sleep, the subconscious works with that idea that you've given it. Even while you're asleep, the subconscious mind will be correlating you with all of the good which you have visualized. You say you may not realize it, but your mind is working for you, or against you, even while you are asleep.